and today we're gonna read The Magic Tree of Merlin Mission, a Blizzard of the Blue Moon story. And today we're gonna start reading at chapter 7, then toast, and the end of reading at chapter 9, okay? And now already read this one book with a lot of stories. And now here we go. Now first we can read The Magic Tree of Merlin Missions, a Blizzard of the Blue Moon, Chapter 7, then toast. The unicorn had a broad milk white chest and a graceful neck, a tuft of hair curled under his chin. A long spare horn rose from the middle of his forehead. He stood very still and very tall. His whole body seemed to be glowing. Blair and Grana just stared at him. They both looked frightened, but Annie stepped forward. "Hi, Dental," she whispered. She reached out and gently touched Unicorn's white chest. "Feel, Jack, feel his heart pounding. Move away," ordered Grana. The girl stepped between Jack and Annie. "Here's ours, and he's coming with us." "He's not yours," said Annie. "Who are you anyway?" said Jack. "Where did you come from?" Grana glared at Jack. "We come from the same magic world he comes from," she said. "He belongs with us, not you, Blair." The boy shoved Jack and Annie aside to try to loop the black rope around the unicorn's neck, but Dantos reared up and reared around, forcing the Blair Grana out of his way. Dantos heavily crossed the treasury room to the garden. Jack and Annie followed him to the open doorway, a snowy cloister, and Blair had Green and charged after them. They had pushed past Jack and Annie to Dantos. Blair had grabbed the unicorn's blue coral. "You come from with us, stupid, like it or not." "Pull on him," yelled Annie. "And don't call him stupid." And Dentos tried to back up. "Let go," screamed Annie. "He doesn't want to go with you." He has no choice," said Grana. "As soon as that rope goes around your neck, all three of us will be instantly transported back to the castle of the Dark Wizard." "No!" Jack shouted, tried to grab the rope from his hand. Blair let go of the unicorn's collar and shoved Jack and Annie to the snow. That had turned into the back to the unicorn and began to swing the magic rope as slow. Dantos had reared up again and kicked to his legs, beneath from the no terrace below to the icy air. "Over mine, Jack," yelled Annie. "Over mine." In the snow, Jack had yanked the book from his staircase. He frantically turned into the pages from the remind they hadn't used. "Call a cloud from the sky," he shouted to Annie. "Anything," she called. "Try it." Jack read the rhyme aloud. "Down from high out of the sky, in no fanny roll-eye, a thick white frog instantly filled with a oyster. There is a frog with no dance." Jack couldn't even see his own hand. "Blair, where are you?" Green and shrieked Grana. "Here!" the boy yelled. Someone grabbed Jack's hand. He struggled to break free. "Let me go!" he shouted. "It's me!" whispered Annie. "Come on!" Jack stood up, clinging Annie. They stumbled together through the garden. Feeling their way along back walkway came from the door that led to the main hall. "Danger's here," Annie whispered, and Jack heard a soft crunch of the unicorn's hooves into the frozen snow. "Where did he go?" Blair shouted. "Find him," yelled Grana, and Jack reached out of the fold of the unicorn's soft mane. Annie had pushed open the door, and then she and Dentus had slipped inside the main hall. Jack had closed the door before Blair and Grina could escape the garden. There wasn't a noise of the frog in the main hall. The museum lady was still behind her desk. She stared at Jack, Annie, and the glowing unicorn that just come from the garden. Her mouth opened and closed, and the dentist had stepped lightly over to the wooden floor. Jack and Anya followed him. The museum lady never blinked. The dentist was gracefully past her desk. She reached out and touched him. She gasped and quickly drew her hand. "Thanks for keeping the museum open today," said Annie. "And thanks, Mr. Rockefeller, for his gifts." The museum lady opened and closed her mouth again, and still unable to speak. And Jack opened to the door to let the street. And Jack and Anya found the dentist out of the museum, called out the stone steps. The blizzard had gotten much worse. Snow was coming from down harder than ever. The wind was wailing. The only unicorn had shook his head and knelt down. "He wants to take on his back," said Annie. "Quick, climb on behind me." Annie climbed into Unicorn's back. And Jack had climbed behind her. Dentist stood up into the full heat. Grandma and Blair blushed through the door. "Museum, stop!" screamed Grina. And the dentist had looked back at them. They had leaped nearby over to the snowdrift and handed into the darkly stone. Now to chapter 8, Backward Life. Jack clung to Annie. Dancers had cleared off the driveway of the cloisters, began to run with ease down the street. His long strides and no light graceful his hurriedly filled movement. The unicorn ran, his head high. His long, sprayed horn peered through the ranging storm, seeming to climb the winds to the snow. Jack realized he could feel the fingers toss again. His whole body to feel warm. Dentist handed down the desert parkway along the waterfront, past an empty bridge. The bridges of the tower have cables from the silver wide open river, and the white caps have swept across the water surface. His unicorn had thrown past the river, and the water became still. The dentist left the riverside and handed down a city street. The wind had whisked between the tall buildings, blowing snow into the great drifts. But the unicorn horn turned into the howling wind, into the soft breeze. The white blowing snow became a floating star-shaped flakes like snowflakes on the Christmas cards. As the unicorn trotted down the street, snowbound taxis have stored cars, stirred them moving again, and the light have came on cafes and jazz clubs. Jack heard unhappy music coming from inside. With the clown's dirty trot, the unicorn had pranced into the city. As they moved past the old missions and the broken down transmans and the shabby hotels, and the people peered out of the doorways and the windows to see why of the sounds into the storm have died away. When they have caught to the red dentist with a horn shining windless air, they broke into joyful smiles. The church bells have ringing through the white silence. Finally, the dancers have came from the stone to the wall-bordering Central Park. He jumped out over to the wall and landed knee-deep into the heap of the snow. The unicorn leapt forcefully out of the drip and tramped over to the field at slope. And slowly, the clouds parted and the light from the setting sun poured down. Hot corn, the Peter sound, and the pallowing pushcart through the snow. Rusting chestnuts shouted another. The good smells of the corn and nuts filled the course of the golden air of the park. The unicorn had struck past of the their castle. Bill Perkins stood outside and staring up into the clear blue sky. "Hey, Mr. Perkins, the monster storm is not coming," shouted Annie. The weatherman saw Jack and Annie on the back of the white unicorn, and his jaw dropped. Then he smiled and waved. Jack and Annie rode on. They passed the statue of the winged angel, and Jack watched her move with the great wings. "Did you see that?" he cried. "Yes," said Annie. As they passed to the statue of the buffalo, Jack heard the call of the dog bird. And the road had passed the merry-go-round. Jack heard the toes of the knees whining, accompanied by a lively crossed music. Dancers had pranced out of the shimmering pathway, and he had lifted a stone as well as they chatted over to another field. The unicorn horn gasped into the snowy field, fled over to the copper light. Not until the unicorn came from the tree that held out of the treehouse did he stop. He hugged the unicorn's long, graceful neck. Thank you, she whispered and kissed him. "Yeah, wow," breathed Jack. And Annie looked Jack over his shoulder. "What now?" she said. "I guess we climb off," said Jack. "But then what?" said Jack sadly. "Where does he go?" "That's a very good question," said Jack. "He comes without a course," someone said, and Jack and Annie gasped. Blair and Granna snuck out of the behind Blair, carried up the black rope, and Jack screamed. How did you get here so fast?" he said. "We took the train," said Blair. "'Tis actually a bit faster than riding a unicorn." The boy laughed meanly. "Shut up, Blair," said Granna, and she had turned into Jack and Annie. "I'm glad we have a happy little ride, but you can say goodbye to the dentist now." "We will take you from here." "No, you won't," said Annie. "Stay away from us," said Jack. "Come on, dentist, let's go," said Annie. Before dentist could move, Granna rushed forward and grabbed the collar of both hands, and the unicorn had started back to the stroke of his head, and Granna had clung fiercely to the collar. "The rope over his head, Blair," she yelled. Now the Blair had blue black rope to the noose again. The unicorn had twists turned into his head. Jack kicked the Blair. "Stop!" he yelled. "Get away from us!" And Jack had felt the stupid yelling just a kicking. But he didn't know what else to do. As Blair and Granna struggled back to the noose over his unicorn's head, Annie had pointed to them in the loud voice. She shouted, "Flora Bear, appear now here. Aka, mer." And the black rope had fell to the snow. Blair and Granna started to spin around, and they spin like two spinning tops. They spun, they grew smaller and smaller. Jack saw a lot of colors: gray, brown, green, white, the dash of the orange, and dash of yellow. Spinning slowly came to the top. The two of the scary teenagers are gone. In their places were two small marbled dots. Now it's chapter 9. It's done, and tomorrow we start reading at chapter 9 and the end of reading at chapter 11. Or today's afternoon, I'm gonna read all of the stories, okay? So that means tomorrow we read a new beginning, new stories, okay? So you'll be very excited. Now, did you have fun? ULS English Country will come back with some of these books, but not this story because we were gonna read, not this book too, because it might be a new book and a new story to read, okay? Now, but another number, but it's a Magic Tricycle Missions. I think it will be Magic Tricycle Missions 9 story, okay? Now, Now, please thumbs up my YouTube if you like my YouTube, okay? Now, bye-bye, everybody, and have a nice day.